this is Julie Hogue with the Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table Recipe Podcast. Now, I talk about recipes that work for families that have split table diets. Like, for instance, in my family, it's vegetarians and meat eaters. This can be done, obviously, with different types of split diets, split table diets, families that have multiple. But, this is what I'm talking about, and you can modify it for yourself if you need, but it's really not that hard, and it's much easier than you think. Now, this is the recipe that I talked about before that's weird. I mean, it's weird, baby. It's really, really weird. It's weird. And don't let anybody see you do it. Shh. Because they might not eat it, right? Some of the things that are in this recipe, if my family saw I put it in there, they'd be like, oh, that's it. I'm not eating it. I'm out. I'm going to make myself peanut butter and jelly. But they all love this recipe. That's the funny part. But they don't see me make it usually. So nobody knows what goes in it. But it's super healthy for you. And it's a hybrid recipe that I call Hybrid Veggie Loaded Sausage Quiche. Hybrid Veggie Loaded Sausage Quiche. And it's from my American Midwest Cooking Quiches. It's a little skinny quiche cookbook that is influenced by being in the Midwest, because this is where I've lived my whole life and where I've got influences for cooking and developing recipes. So this is why my family doesn't like it. So, right, they don't love cauliflower. Not many people do. I actually like cauliflower. Yes, I'm going to call myself a weirdo. I like cauliflower. But this has cauliflower in it. But it's the chopped or the riced or whatever. So it's really super small and nobody really notices it when you mix it with other stuff. The other weird things in this recipe that my family would not like is chia seeds. Chia seeds are actually quite healthy for you, and you can put them in here. They do a little bit of a function, and they just add some health and maybe a little bit of crunch, but you don't really notice it. Then this is the one that would surprise my family if they knew it was in here. Tofu. There's actually 8 ounces of tofu in this. And so this is where it gets really interesting. So it was so funny the other day. My son was talking about, we were talking about what we're going to have for dinner. And I said, do you want me to leave mushrooms off your portion? Because my youngest does not like mushrooms. And he said, he gave me this idea. He said, well, if you chop it up really small, I might not notice. He gave me that idea. I'm like, you don't like mushrooms and you just told me how to feed you mushrooms. Woohoo! Mom points there. Because then he won't notice they're there. And it is true. Mushrooms kind of just blend in the whole consistency of a quiche often. So they're really not noticeable. But I just love that he told me an idea of how to sneak mushrooms in a recipe so that he would eat it. Wow, right? That's crazy. Okay, here's what you're going to need for this. You're going to need 2 large bowls, a hand mixer, a fork, and a 9x13 baking dish, and probably a large spoon. I generally use a glass baking dish. You don't have to, but that's what I do. What are you going to need? Okay, you're going to need 12 ounces of chopped cauliflower. I usually buy the kind that's frozen, and then you cook it according to the directions on the package so that it's cooked and warm and soft and kind of a bit mushy. And you're going to need 1/2 cup sunflower seeds, dry roasted, 1/3 cup diced onion, 1/4 cup chia seeds, 9 eggs, 1 green pepper, sliced or red. You can use whatever color you want, baby. It doesn't matter. And then you're going to do 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms, coarsely chopped. Like I said, chop, 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 chop. Big, small, medium, little, ginormous, whatever you want, but just some kind of chopped. I've never tried it not chopping them, so I'm sure it would work, but it works best if you have some sort of chopping going on. And then you have 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. That's just going to be to grease your pan. And listen to my previous episode if you want to know about the coconut oil on the skin. Oh, I laughed at myself so hard after that when I said, you have moisturized arms. Go back and listen. It's super silly. Okay, and then you need 8 ounces of tofu chopped up, 1 teaspoon dried basil leaves, 1/2 teaspoon garlic salt, 1/4 teaspoon ground thyme, 1/2 teaspoon ground marjoram, and 8 ounces of shredded Colby Jack cheese, and 1 cup of browned pork sausage. You can do a little more if you want. Obviously, this is optional. You can do half the pan with sausage or 3/4, leaving, the rest of it vegetarian without the sausage. And then salsa for topping is optional. We used hot sauce. Some of us use hot sauce. Some of us use salsa to do the top. Okay, how do you make it? Then you're going to combine the following in a large bowl: tofu, 6 eggs, basil leaves, garlic salt, ground thyme, and ground marjoram, and blend with a hand mixer for about a minute. This chops up the tofu so no one knows it's there. Shh. That's a secret. Because they don't really like tofu. I mean, my husband would probably eat it, but my youngest son would be like, I'm not eating that. So it's in there to add some protein and be healthier. But if you blend it up, nobody notices there's no chunks, right? Sneaky tip. Okay, then you're going to grease a 9 by 13 inch pan with a coconut oil in preparation for building the quiche. The bottom layer will be the cauliflower mixture. So you're going to scoop that into a pan and flatten it down with the back of a spoon. Then you're going to spread the chopped mushrooms over the cauliflower layer. Sprinkle the Colby Jack cheese evenly across the dish. And then you're going to pour that egg and tofu mixture over the cheese. Use a spoon and spread it around and cover that cheese. Just, slosh it around so it's all covered up. Then, this is where you make it the hybrid recipe. Add sausage to half the dish or 3/4. And I actually kind of push the sausage down in a little bit. And then you're going to top with the pepper slices. And I generally keep the pepper whole and do slices all the way through it. It looks really pretty. And you put it on the top, all across the top of the dish, the slices. Like a cross-section slice, I guess they call that. Cover it with foil and cook for an hour at 400 degrees, removing the tin foil about the last 10 minutes of cooking. And it's done when the knife inserted in the center comes out clean. Now, people who are worried about meat drift. Meat drift. What is meat drift? Meat drift, I'm probably the one who made this up, is when the meat decides to drift over to the vegetarian side. How dare it, right? Stay in your spot, you piece of meat. So it's supposed to stay on the right side, right? But I have not had meat drift with this recipe. There have been some recipes I've tried where there is a little bit of meat drift. And if there is a little bit of meat drift, just make sure you stay away from that meat edge so you less likely will get a piece of meat in your vegetarian portion. That happens more likely when it's kind of a liquidy recipe, kind of fluid, but this isn't so much like that. So the meat's a good boy and stays on the right side, the correct side where the meat belongs. Stay, meat, stay, right? Stay on your side. You don't get to come on our vegetarian side. You stay on your meat side, you piece of meat. And then everybody's happy, right? You got your meat portions, you got your meatless portions. You're good to go. And I think the pepper slices kind of help it stay in the spot too. So they're like the guards. They're like the little fences that help it stay. I've just never had any meat drift with this one. So it's all good. It works out just fine. And, I've occasionally had a piece of meat and then I see it and I just chuck it right out with my fork. And I just don't eat it. Some people can't handle the thought of meat juice getting on their side. I guess everyone's different, but for me, I don't want to be a short order cook. I am busy. I need something easy. I can make this work. And if it doesn't seem like any juice is going over there, I'm good. I had one person talk to me about my method of cooking, and they're like, oh no. They were all worried about meat juice getting on their vegetarian side. And I said, you might get a little bit, but if you're not stirring the whole dang thing up, I highly doubt that's happening. Unless it's very liquidy, then yeah, you can't do it with soup, obviously, duh. I mean, you can't have a meatless part of the soup. That just didn't work. You have to have a whole new crock pot for that. But in things like this, the meat can stay in its spot as long as it's not too liquidy. So this is a really good recipe, and my family really likes it. I love the crunch of the sunflower seeds in there and the nutty flavor. It's really good. So this is super good for you, right? You've got your protein You've got lots of veggies, and it's just very healthy, and it's good. And we had it for dinner maybe like a week and a half ago again, and it was good. Everybody loves it. And I love that it has all this stuff in there, and nobody knows, baby. It's a secret. You can get those veggies in there, and even tofu. If they don't even know it's there, they're probably going to eat it. I don't think I'll ever get over my son suggesting that to me, though. That was the funniest thing. I was like, you wait, you don't like mushrooms, but you're telling me how to feed you mushrooms in a sneaky way. I was just like wanted to roll with laughter. Like it was the funniest thing. So we had, have you ever heard of Bethel University in Minnesota? We have this Christian college, and my son's girlfriend works there. She's got a job there, and they do this Christmas holiday concert. It's Christian themed because it's a Christian college. We went to it last night. It was incredible. It was phenomenal. Like they were so professional. It was amazing. Guess I've been doing it for 69 years. So check that out if you happen to live in Minnesota and you like orchestra, you like choirs, and it does have a Christian slant. So if you are a Christian, it probably fits you better than if you're not. But it was incredible. It was phenomenal. It was a great addition to our Christmas this year, just to be able to see that and participate in it. The lighting was amazing. They had this organ. They have like a real organ, right? Like there aren't many places probably that you can find an actual real organ. But it was amazing. And I need to get making some cookies. I had to make some peanut butter blossoms probably today because everybody loves those at my house. I had to probably make a couple of batches of those. Between that and the cutout cookies, they're the top at our house for Christmas time. Well, I hope you're enjoying your Christmas time and all your cooking ideas and your traditions. We have all these traditions, right, that we love to just make every single year, including the cookies. I have my set of things that I make, and I tend to make them every single year. Sometimes I like to try new things, but sometimes I just flat out run out of time. I want to make all my usuals, and then making a new thing gets to be a bit of a challenge. So sometimes it does not happen. And I always want to try new things though too, because it's fun, but I can't cut out the old things. So you got to have enough time. You have to have extra time if you're going to add something new, unless you're going to be willing to give up your holiday favorites, which I guess I'm not, because then I don't get them until next year. I mean, you could make them at a different time, right? But, I guess with the cutouts you could. But to me, they're just Christmas cookies. So I think of them at Christmas time as Christmas cookies. So if I'm starting making them at Easter, then they aren't going to be Christmas cookies anymore. But it's not like you couldn't get cookie cutters and make Easter. I don't know. Maybe you need a new sugar cookie recipe or something for Easter. Because then you're mixing the holidays, right? Good question. Anyway, we're moving into the holiday time. Pretty heavy here. Lots of shopping to do. I hope you're enjoying it. My cookbook is still on sale for the hardcover because people are buying it. Thank you, people who are buying it. And I'm like, well, then maybe I should just keep it lower because I think it's fantastic. I've had a lot of sales with the little discount that I have going on with the hardcover cookbook. So yeah, for now, it's going to stick. I hope you're enjoying it. And don't forget to also check out my little American Midwest Cooking Quiches. That's a little series I started. I'm going to be making more little skinny notebooks like this. Notebooks. Why am I calling it a notebook? Jeez, it's a cookbook. I'm going to make more of them all along this American Midwest cooking theme. Right now, I've been working on one with salads and breads. And I have a ways to go yet because I need to remake all the recipes. Even though I've made them multiple times, I got to take pictures, right? So you have to remake them. And then it has to be the right timing. Like right now in the winter, not such good timing. I have done it, but it's a little difficult. You've got the snow on the table outside because I like to take pictures outside a lot. So it's a little bit of a challenge. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your holiday season. Thanks so much for listening to this, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. Take care. Bye-bye now.